Hi, I'm the Brad Lloyd, and this channel is all about making your home smart using Apple Homekit. HomeKit allows us to monitor our homes, whether home or away. With a single Siri command or by pressing a button, it's possible to control many accessories at once and set scenes that can transform the ambiance of any room by adjusting the brightness, color, or the temperature of your lighting, and maybe even include some music. When away from home, we can make sure that our doors are locked and our lights are off, and use our cameras to make sure that everything is safe and secure. Unfortunately though, building a smart home isn't always as easy as it seems. Siri, turn on the fan.
Sorry, Brad. I couldn't find anything like that in the Lloyd's home.
Turn on the fan in the master bedroom bathroom.
Sorry, I couldn't find anything like that in the master bedroom near the Lloyd's home.
Siri, turn on the fan in the master ensuite bathroom.
Did you mean master ensuite bathroom?
Yes.
Did you mean master ensuite bathroom?
Yes.
Did you mean master ensuite bathroom?
Yes.
Did you mean master ensuite bathroom?
Never mind.
Okay, the exhaust fan is on.
I don't pretend to have all the answers, but in this video, I'm going to share my top 7 tips for a better smart home using Apple HomeKit. First things first, make sure you have a home hub. This stores your automations and allows you to control your smart home remotely. I'll keep this point brief today, however, I do talk more about home hubs in my HomeKit Away from Home video, so I'll link that in the description if you're interested. One option for a home hub is a HomePod Mini. I highly recommend having HomePod Minis in your home. Aside from being great sounding speakers, a HomePod Mini is a Thread border router. I'll talk more about Thread later, but Thread is going to become more important as time goes on, so making sure you have a border router is essential in my opinion. Worth noting, the 2021 Apple TV 4K can also act as a Thread border router for your Thread devices. Of course, with a HomePod Mini, you also get a smart assistant, which is the foundation of a smart home since often that's how you're going to be communicating and interacting with your devices. I'm such a fan of the HomePod Mini, and while there are many reasons why I recommend multiple minis, all you need is one to get started. Let's talk about organizing your home app. If not organized well, it can quickly become overwhelming as you expand your smart home. Start by making sure you have relevant names for each of your rooms and utilize zones. Zones are typically a group of rooms that make it easy to control accessories in multiple areas of your home. Some common examples are an upstairs zone that groups your entire second level. Similarly, you could do a main floor, basement, or outside zone. I have several zones set up, including one for kids' bedrooms and bathrooms, but zones don't have to be multiple rooms. Take my great room for example. This is what we call an open concept living room, at least here in Canada, though some of you may call it a living room. So I can name it great room, but also create a zone for this called living room. For my ensuite bathroom, I can create a zone and call it master ensuite, parents bathroom, or anything I want. Creating zones is really simple. From the Home app, click the room settings, then zones. You can then create an existing zone or click create new. As far as I know, there's no limit to the number of zones that can be assigned to a room, so feel free to go crazy here. Many people fall into the trap of adding every accessory into their favorites, and sometimes I'm guilty of this as well. Anything added as a favorite will show on the Home app's main screen. It's okay if an accessory is not a favorite, you can still easily see it within the room you have it assigned to. Along the top of the home screen, you can also see the status overview of your home. See what doors are unlocked, which doors and windows are open, which lights and outlets are on, as well as view air quality metrics such as temperature and humidity. You can also make all your rooms look extra nice by adding home wallpaper. From the room settings, you can select a preset or choose a photo. I'll leave a link to the Homepaper app in the description if you want to create a similar wallpaper to the ones I have here. One thing to mention is that if you add a wallpaper to your device, it will only show on that particular device and not sync across all your devices or carry over to other family members. When organizing my accessories on my favorite screen, I do it from the front of the house to the back of the house, one floor at a time, with the exception of my HomePods, which I like to keep at the bottom grouped together. This helps me to quickly find the accessory that I'm looking for. It's also good to just go through your rooms once in a while and address any non-responsive devices. If it's a device that you're not using anymore, then maybe it's best to just remove it. Or perhaps it's a device that just needs to be rebooted, like pulling out a smart plug and then reinserting it. If that doesn't work, then it's best to sometimes just do a factory reset and add it back into HomeKit. It's also good to go through your scenes and automations and delete ones that you're no longer using. Setting a reminder to do this every 3 to 6 months can really make sure that your automations don't get out of control. Next, let's talk about using third-party apps. I use the Home app as often as I can. It's simple and I like everything being in one place. But using just the Home app could be a mistake, and in some cases, you'll miss out on some pretty cool features. Some third-party apps to consider are the Eve app, Home Plus 5 app, and the Controller for HomeKit app. Home Plus 5 and Controller have a cost, but the Eve app is free, even if you don't own any Eve accessories. Though if you haven't tried any Eve products, we should probably talk about that. I'll put a link in the description to my top 7 must-have Eve products. The Home app is simple and easy to use, especially when you're just getting started. Now that my smart home is pretty established, third-party apps allow for more advanced automations, opening up the ability to specify more detailed triggers. For example, I use the Home Plus 5 app to create an automation that turns the light red when CO2 or VOC levels are too high. In the Home app, I'm limited to triggers such as high CO2 or poor air quality. But using the Home Plus 5 app, I was able to specify the actual CO2 and VOC levels for those triggers. Though the biggest advantage of using one of these third-party apps is the ability to specify conditions. As an example, I set my main floor lights to turn on gradually as sunset approaches, but only if I don't have an existing scene set. You can imagine how frustrating it would be to set, for example, a party scene, only to have it changed again a few minutes later with a previous time-based automation. If you have a motion sensor with a light sensor like this Fabara one I have here, then I can say when motion is detected, turn on my entrance lights, but only if the light level is at a particular level measured in lux, which I currently have set to below 40 lux. When it comes to third-party apps, they can really take your smart home to the next level. Home Plus 5, for example, gives you the ability to create automation folders and create a backup of your home configuration, though it does cost $21 Canadian. If you don't already use a third-party app, then I recommend the Eve app. It's powerful and it's free. Take a minute to comment and let me know what your favorite third-party app is and why. In addition to third-party apps, I recommend installing your accessories manufacturer app. Manufacturer apps are helpful for making sure that your accessories have the latest firmware. Sometimes this means bug fixes, and other times they're more substantial improvements on how a device can work. Let's say you just bought an Eve door and window sensor and you're excited to take advantage of the increased speed and reliability of Thread. Well, if you simply set it up in the Home app without downloading the Eve app to get the latest firmware, then your accessory will only work with Bluetooth, not Thread. This is because the device was released before Thread was available and only became available earlier this year via a firmware update. So it's always good to just download the manufacturer app so you know your device will perform at its best. Manufacturer apps will often allow you to see more details than what's available in the Home app. For example, Eve Weather is exposed to HomeKit so I can see the current temperature and humidity. Often that's all I need, but by using the Eve app, I can dig in a little further to see detailed historical data. I can see what the weather was like yesterday, last month, or even last year, assuming I had the device that long. With the door and window sensor, I can see when the last time the door was opened, as well as how many times the door's ever been opened. Fun fact, my pantry door's been opened 23,635 times. That's a lot of snacking. This is not limited to Eve, as many other manufacturer apps will provide additional details or give you the ability to use lighting effects in scenes not in the Home app. If you're a car user, then you can view this kind of information with their door and window and air quality sensor as well. And you can create some time-based automations not available in the Home app. My bathroom exhaust fan is set to turn off automatically after 59 minutes to leave a buffer after a bath or shower. It can be manually turned off as you leave the room if needed, but it's a good failsafe so we don't waste energy for too long. So manufacturer apps can be really useful. Okay, avoid too many Wi-Fi devices. Strong Wi-Fi is important. It's a good idea to upgrade your router from the one supplied with your internet service provider and go with a mesh or whole home Wi-Fi that will give you solid coverage throughout your home. Wi-Fi accessories are typically fast with good range, but in my opinion, they are the least reliable. I understand if you don't want to clutter up your house with too many hubs, but be mindful not to overwhelm your Wi-Fi network with too many devices. Take light switches for example. If you just need one or two, then Wi-Fi is going to be fine. But if you're talking about replacing all of the switches in your house, then I recommend using a hub and going with something like Lutron Caseta or Akara. For smart lights, I use Philips Hue or the Nanoleaf Essentials lights. I'm not saying that Wi-Fi accessories are bad, as sometimes you don't have a choice because of the options available for HomeKit, and other times they're just the more economical solution. Philips Hue and Aqara both require a hub, and they communicate using Zigbee, but they're fast and reliable. If you don't want to add a hub, then you're in luck, because Thread is here and we're slowly starting to see more and more devices like the Nanoleaf light bulb and Eve Energy and many others. You do need a border router like a HomePod Mini or Apple TV, which I know is technically a hub, but it's like one master hub that can also do a ton of other things. Thread is likely to be an important part of Matter, a new smart home connectivity standard that will make it easier to find compatible smart home devices in the future. Matter certified devices should be available before the end of next year. I'm personally really interested to see how this new standard changes HomeKit and the smart home market in general. Thread has great range yet remains energy efficient. I partnered with Eve on a few videos for their channel and I tested out the range of Thread versus Bluetooth. It was pretty amazing to see how far Thread could reach by adding Eve Energy. I even surprised myself. Head over to Eve's channel to check that out. With time, we're gonna see more Thread devices and I'll keep you updated on that. I'm on Insta and Twitter, so I hope that we can connect there too. Make sure to do your research. What's best for me isn't always gonna be best for you. I suggest that you get as many opinions as you can before buying a new accessory. This can help you to make a more informed purchasing decision to get the most out of your smart home. Watch videos on YouTube, just like what you're doing right now is a good first step. There are many great YouTubers out there, and even when I'm personally researching products, the more videos, opinions, and experiences that I can learn from, the better. Everyone will have their own take on products. It's really hard for me to mention any one channel without missing some amazing creator, but if you go over to my channel and select the channels tab, then I've included some of my favorites. Who are some of your favorite smart home creators? Leave me a comment to help someone discover a new channel. Don't forget to check out newsletters, blogs, websites, Facebook groups, and online reviews to help make a more informed decision. Building a smart home can be a lot of fun, and it can really make your life easier, but it is an investment, so make sure that you're spending your money wisely. Lastly, it's important to be agile. Your smart home won't simply come together the way you want it to right away. So play around and find out what works. You need to be flexible and willing to adapt. If you're having Wi-Fi connection issues, then take note of your Wi-Fi signal where that accessory is and consider adding an access point to improve your Wi-Fi. If you're having connection issues with accessories that use a hub, then you may need to consider moving your hub to a more central location or adding a repeater like the Aqara light switch, which helps to extend the range of other Aqara accessories. I do find the Lutron Caseta range to be excellent, but for large homes, they do offer a repeater to extend the range by an additional 60 feet. Bluetooth devices will communicate with your closest home hub, so adding an Apple TV or HomePod to that area you're having issues with will often help. Eve also offers Eve Extend to help increase the range of their Bluetooth devices. But Eve, as you know, has been converting many of their Bluetooth accessories to Thread. To extend the range of Thread, you just need a full Thread device such as HomePod Mini, Nanoleaf lights, or Eve Energy. Basically, any Thread device that plugs in will help to extend the range of your Thread network, and additionally, it'll increase the reliability of your Thread devices by providing additional paths for Thread to communicate. If you have a family like me or anyone else that you live with, then it's not just your smart home. So my advice is to get feedback from others to help your smart home work better for everyone. There was a period where my kids kept hiding the motion sensor from their bathroom because it wasn't responding the way they liked. Okay, it's not working. How can I fix it? Maybe it's changing the hours or adjusting the brightness. What about a longer timeout period? Taking the time to understand the needs of others in your home will significantly reduce your own frustration. How my wife or kids would use a particular device isn't always the same way I would do it, even if I know my ways better.
Excuse me?
I've made mistakes along the way with automations or products that didn't work well for me personally, like my Wemo light switch and smart plug or my VocaLink light strip. That's okay, I'm learning and that gives me the opportunity to try something new. I've also had to consider if there's something wrong with my setup and not the product, so be patient and willing to troubleshoot. Experiment with different scene combinations, add in conditions, or maybe create a Siri shortcut to find out what works best for you. There you go, these are my top 7 tips to improve your HomeKit smart home, but I know many of you have some amazing tips as well, so please share them in the comments so we can all improve our smart homes together. I read every comment and I appreciate them very much, even if you respectfully disagree. I value your opinion and I'm happy to have this platform to share my experiences, but often I learn something new from your feedback. That's all for today's video. I hope you're enjoying my content, but if you have any feedback or suggestions for future videos, then don't be shy. I want to continue to improve the channel and produce content that's helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.